What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast, coming to you from CES. We have Michael Stich, who is a partner at CourtAvenue, up-and-coming holdco. Dan Cabey, one of the co-founders, has been on the show before, so you might see some familiar faces. So thanks so much for coming on, man.
My pleasure. Nice to spend time with you.
Yeah, you too. So you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself,
Sure.
what you do at the agency?
So I've got a high-tech background. My first CES was back in 2003 when I was working for Texas Instruments.
Wow, so you're a veteran.
McKinsey. Yeah, I've been an exhibitor here many times. I joined the agency world about 20 years ago, and have spent most of my time at CES doing a combination of technology strategy, tours. Sometimes we do some displays and this sort of thing. But for background outside of the show, I've been an agency exec with a combination of WPP and independent agencies here for about 20 years, including Bridge, Rockfish, VML, and now CourtAvenue.
Nice.
And what I like to do is just focus very heavily on what's next for clients, what kind of innovations are coming out, and I try to simplify them.
Nice.
I try to make it something very simple for them.
Did you and Dan kind of overlap during the Digitaria / Miriam days?
We sure did. So Dan and I have known each other for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
A lot of mutual respect when we were both within the WPP mothership, and we just started talking after Dan and Kenny, my partner, joined CourtAvenue and created CourtAvenue in 2019. I came on as third partner in 2020, and it's been off to the races. But I love working with Dan.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
A human being. Yeah,
I love it. All right, so what is your guys' plan at CES this week? What are you guys doing to stand out, get in front of clients? What are you guys doing to market the agency?
We are in and out quickly.
Nice.
We're meeting with kind of a blitzkrieg on clients.
Let's go.
Coming in, saying,
no fuss, no muss.
Yeah, starting the year with a boom. So I'm hosting a couple, 3 clients at the showroom floor tomorrow, having just finished walking through and trying to gather some patterns for them. We've got some first meet and greets with clients, and then we're doing a new PR push this year. And we're doing, our bottleneck as an organization is frankly awareness. We've got very high client net promoter scores, very high employee net promoter scores. People are happy with us, just no one knows about us.
Sure.
So this is a year. This is a year of like getting the word out about the good things that we're doing, and finding ways for us to share what we know with the market a little bit more.
Amazing. So doing any thought leadership this week? Any talks or panels or anything?
I tend to form my own thought leadership. So yes, including this podcast right now. So thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. And other partners, Dan and Kenny, doing similar things in terms of panels, this kind of stuff. But I actually like to do more quiet, more intimate thought leadership with clients, just to think through things on a more custom basis.
One-to-one.
Yeah. What does this mean for food? What does this mean for banking? What does this mean for car manufacturers? And how do we really think about where technology is going for your business? And how do we use this time together in Vegas to think through what we're going to get done this year? So that's our priority.
I love it. Well, a lot of us advertising folks are guilty of never leaving this hotel or the Aria. I sadly am on that list so far this year, but I would like to get over to the showroom floor eventually. Did make it down as least as far as the Wynn, but I've heard that you have spent some time down on the showroom floor. Anything exciting?
I got my list of themes so far. Nice. I'll share them.
Let's go.
First thing I'll say is, and I do this every year, so I'm used to looking at stuff as to I know where Panasonic's going to be. I know what LG's going to do. Like there's things that are there that are going to have like big shock and awe if you've never seen them before. What I try to focus on is what's new and what's next. So some patterns for me are, there's a lot of very large new booths from brands, particularly from the Middle East and Asia, that no one's ever heard of before. So for me, I think there's new competition around big tech brands.
Yeah, and automotive even. You've got a lot of auto companies coming
100%.
in that might be challenger brands.
Totally agreed. And if you we've always known that a lot of the mainland Chinese brands, TQL and Hisense and others are really trying to build theirs out. But there's another whole generation that are coming on right now that are conglomerates and growing quite rapidly. So that was really interesting to me, is that the brand competition's going to pick up here. Second one is, and you might expect this, but robots are truly coming into our homes in a way that's not just the cute little robot going around your living room and so they're more purpose built. So this robot is specifically specifically to help people with physical needs. This robot is specifically to help you with your physical fitness. There are more robots that you want to take home.
Yep.
Kind of like a Roomba, but that has a purpose to it, and I need that, right?
Yeah,
There's a
and
few
not
of
just
those.
the like AI and robotization of just like, there are some things that don't need to be a robot and don't need to be an IoT device.
I totally agree with you.
But but there's I think a lot of innovation and actual useful robots that probably is still to be done.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I say I think yes, and the AI within them are also getting more ambient. So they're not bothering you, they're not alerting you all the time. They're just observing you.
Yeah.
And they're saying, "Oh, okay, seems like you might be getting hungry now," or seems like the pet might need to be played with right now. Like there's a pet robot that'll play with your pets. Like there's cool things that are coming out that are actually real world problems, and they're doing it on a more respectful, more sensing basis rather than more ambient basis rather than I'm going to wait for you to enter in something in chat to tell me what to do, and then I'm going to think about how to do it. The other thing that's interesting is there's a lot of glasses. There's a lot of VR overlay.
I interviewed a glasses founder that I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah, a company called Latitude 52.
Okay.
And they're designing for the outdoor enthusiasts. So fishermen, runners, hikers.
Love it.
And what I thought was really cool is they're building IoT connected devices for when you don't have a signal. So
nice.
Literally a band that goes around the glasses, and you could be hooked up to 6 other people in a party. And also, but one of the things that I thought was interesting is they also have technology, with Lost In here being a travel guide company, AI built in to have an interactive tour guide. So not just have an audio tour, but a tour where you can actually ask questions and it'll talk back to you. So you're looking at a particular piece of historical architecture, and you're not just being told about it, you're getting an opportunity to interact with it. But the thing that was a little bit interesting is they have their own proprietary AI. Do you think are we going to end up in a situation where every device has its own LLM, every device has its own AI, and then they're not interchangeable and not sharing data with each other?
I look at it similarly to how NVIDIA kind of puts their own view around this, and you can kind of think about a hive of agents. Where you've got some that are very specific to a task and others that are working across to combine them.
Nice.
And that clustering of different kinds of agents based upon different combinations of tasks become sort of operating systems for individuals. Okay, and so it starts though with a very focused application as an agent first. Lots of energy sources, lots of energy management, new sources of energy. How are we going to power all of this? And then there's the typical sort of smaller, faster, cheaper everything.
Yep.
TVs are faster.
Yeah, it feels like
thinner.
Insta360 has pretty much displaced GoPro at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Well said. The other thing, though, I will say is there's a lot of battery technology that's particularly minuscule, and that's interesting because now you can start to think about proliferation of energy sources across a variety of different locations.
That's crazy.
So those are the big ones for me so far. I'm
Nice.
still learning.
Anything that you haven't seen yet that is on your list that you want to try and knock off before you get out of here?
There's you mentioned the one about a disconnected wearable. I think there's a localized AI push happening. I've seen this especially inside of digital health areas where it is learning without having to be connected to some cloud or to some backbone. I want to see more of those. I haven't seen enough of them yet, but that idea of a resident smart device that is learning a task that is embedded inside of the device itself.
Wow.
So I want to see more of those.
Yeah, well, that's kind of requirements for like the deep tech space, right? With like autonomous weapons and military application, because you can't be connected all the time,
right?
Or jam your radar. The device isn't functional if it's connected to the internet, or it's not safe if it's connected to the internet.
And we're learning more and more in combination of reasons why there are times in which it has to be autonomous, and it has to be, and that comes with its own trade-offs.
Totally.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing so far.
Very cool. Well, if the audience wants to follow along or learn more about the agency, connect with you for thought leadership, where would you
CourtAvenue.com. I'm mstick at LinkedIn. I'm mstick on Twitter. I'm probably most active on LinkedIn, but Michael.Stich at CourtAvenue.com is probably the best way to get me, or you can call or text me anytime you want to. But it's a pleasure to be here and pleasure doing this with you.
Love it. Thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure, man.
Cheers.
All right.